Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your NXT TakeOver Brooklyn results. WB NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 kickoff pre-show opened up with Charlie Caruso, Sam Roberts, Corey Graves, and Hall of Famer Lita. They talked about the show, the Barclays Center, and being in Brooklyn. They plugged the WWE Network and SummerSlam next. Panel discusses the card. Graves reveals that he will be calling NXT Tag Team title match, apparently because tonight's NXT Homecoming theme. Graves predicts Hideo Itami versus Aleister Black will steal the show. Sam and Lita believe the NXT women's title match will steal the show. We go backstage to Renee Young, who was here for the Homecoming theme as well. Renee talks about being back on NXT, and she will be having the exclusive interviews tonight. She welcomes Raw General Manager Kurt Angle. Hall of Famer says that this is his first NXT, and he's here to enjoy the show, and is looking forward to the two single title matches. Renee asks if Angle is here to scout talent, and he says he's keeping that close to his chest. Angle also says he's looking forward to the Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam. Renee thanks Angle and sends it back to the panel. They talk about Angle and Charlie sending us to a preview for tonight's NXT Tag Team title match. I'll go right to the show itself. There's no matches on the pre-show. Go right to the results. TakeOver Brooklyn opens up with the band Code Orange performing "They're Bleeding in the Blur" single live in the Barclays Center on the stage. This was like a live music video package for the show. We're live as Mauro Ronaldo welcomes us. He's joined in by Percy Watson and Nigel McGuinness. Johnny Gargano versus Adrian Cian-Almas was the first match. We go right to the ring, and out comes Johnny Gargano to a pop. Andre Cian-Almas was out next with Zelina Vega. Fans are chanting Johnny Wrestling before the bell. They go at it to start, trade holds and counters. Almas drops Gargano with a shoulder. They run the ropes again, and Gargano nails a Hurricanrana back and forth. Trade penitence. Gargano keeps Almas grounded. Fan chant for Gargano again. Almas breaks free with an elbow. Gargano chops in the corner, and Vega yells from ringside. Almas counters Gargano in the corner and drops him with a backbreaker type of move. Almas keeps control and drops Gargano with another elbow. Almas with a low drop kick for a 2 count. Almas keeps control, working on the arm as he keeps Gargano grounded. Vega cheers on Almas as fans try to rally for Gargano. Gargano fights and nails an arm drag. Almas charges, but Gargano sends him face first into the turnbuckle. Almas turns him around with a kick, but Gargano blocks the suplex with a knee to the head. They both go down for a double clothesline. After a double clothesline, they trade shots in the middle of the ring. Gargano gets rocked, but he responds by unloading. Gargano with a nice roundhouse kick to the head. Gargano is up on the apron, almost runs the ropes, but Gargano hits a slingshot spear from the apron. Almost kicks out at 2, more back and forth. Gargano hits a big back kick, sending Almas to the floor. Gargano runs the ropes and nails big dive, sending Almas into the barrier. Vega isn't happy. Fan chant NXT now. Gargano brings it back in the ring. It hits a big slingshot DDT for another close 2 count. Fan chant for Gargano again. Gargano sloops Almas, but Almas slides out. They trade counters again. Gargano goes for another slingshot spear from the apron, but Almas catches him and hits a big tornado inverted DDT for a close 2 count. Vega almost can't believe it. Almas takes Gargano to the top and hits a big chop. Almas climbs up, but Gargano fights back. Gargano goes for a sunset flip powerbomb, but Almas escapes and lands on his feet. Almas drops Gargano with a spinning elbow. Almas charges, but Gargano hits an enziguri. Almas comes right back and that sends Gargano into the turnbuckles with a big hip toss. More back and forth action. Gargano gets Almas in a Gargano escape in the middle of the ring. Almas ends up breaking out. Almas with a big buckle bomb on Gargano. Almas goes on and covers for a close 2 count. The crowd goes wild now. Almas signals that he's ready to finish Gargano off. Fan chant for Gargano. Almas with a knee to the face. More shots to the arm. Gargano with a back kick and then a super kick. Gargano scoots Almas and launches him into the middle turnbuckle like a lawn dart. Gargano ready for the finish, but Vega distracts him by throwing a DIY shirt at him. Almost takes advantage and hits drop kick into the corner. Almost hits the big hammerlock DDT for the pinfall. After the match, Almost and Vega celebrate as we go to replays. We come back to Vega and Almost on the rope. All smiles as Gargano recovers in the middle of the ring. We see Raw General Manager Kurt Angle and SmackDown General Manager Daniel Bryan watching the show in the skybox. Peyton Royce and Billy Kay are annoying Bryan while it looks like Roderick Strong is sitting beside Angle. No Way Jose and a few others are hanging out nearby as well. Drew McIntyre backstage warming up for the main event. The announcers lead us to a video package for tonight's NXT Tag Team title match. Back to the arena, Mike Rome congratulates the crowd as TakeOver is trending worldwide on Twitter. He introduces the guest commentator for the match, for the next match, and out comes Corey Graves to a pop. Tag Team title match, Sanity versus the Authors of Pain. We go to the ring, out comes Sanity, Eric Young, Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf, and Nikki Cross. NXT Tag Team Champions, the Authors of Pain, are out next with Hall of Famer Paul Ellering. Akam and Rezar are wearing new gear tonight. Akam and Rezar hit the ring, but Dane and Wolf immediately attacked them. The champs send Wolf to the floor and double team Dane before sending him out. They stand tall for a second before they're brought out to the floor as the brawl continues. Young pulls the table from under the ring. The referee tries to calm things down so he can ring the bell. Akam brings Wolf into the ring and the bell rings. Akam overpowers Wolf and tags in Rezar for a double team. The Authors make quick tags and keep up the attack on Wolf in the corner. Wolf finally sidesteps Akam and then goes to tag Dane, but Young jumps on the apron instead. Young takes Dane's place in the match and it's legal. Young works over Akam on the floor, but Akam clotheslines him over the barrier. Wolf comes from behind and stops Akam. Akam beats Wolf down. Young pulls Rezar into the crowd as they brawl, while Akam is in the ring with Wolf. They all make it back into the ring as the Authors double team Young. Rezar recovers for a 2 count. Young fights off both opponents, but they double team him in the corner for a 2 count. Akam works over Young on the mat. Rezar tags back in as Ellering cheers them on. Rezar keeps Young grounded in the middle of the ring now. Wolf reaches for a tag, but Rezar stops him and applies another submission. Young lands on the apron, and it looks like to make a comeback on Rezar, but Rezar overpowers and lifts him high by his neck while the referee counts. Rezar drives Young into the mat. Rezar goes for an elbow drop, but Young moves out of the way. Wolf finally gets a tag and goes at it with both opponents. Wolf launches Akam with a suplex. He tries for a German on Rezar, but Rezar fights off. Wolf gets the German for a pop. Wolf comes off the top with a clothesline to Rezar. Wolf recovers for the pin, but Akam makes the save. He also double team Wolf, but he keeps swinging. Authors with a neck breaker, powerbomb double team for another close 2 count. Wolf ends up hitting a nice Frankensteiner. Akam gets sent to the floor. Young gets a tag and comes in to take Rezar down with a neck breaker. Young gets riled up and as the fans pop. Young goes to the top but Rezar crotches him. Rezar climbs up for a superplex. Akam covers for a double team, but Nikki holds EY, which causes Akam to powerbomb Rezar instead. This leads to EY getting a close 2 count, but thanks to ring location, the Authors end up on the floor for a breather. Young does a big dive to take them both down. Wolf leaps out next for another pop. Nikki gets into the ring and goes wild as fans cheer her. She goes to look to dive, but Ellering comes in and fans boo as the referees get in between them. Ellering is being sent out of the ring while Nikki goes to the top. Akam catches her in midair and holds her. Dane charges and sends Nikki and Akam through the table that EY brought out earlier as the crowd goes wild. This is also a chance starts for the crowd. Wolf tags in and they double team Rezar out of the corner. Wolf covers for the pin and become new tag team champions. After the match, crowd cheers as Sanity takes the gold. Young and Wolf raise the titles as we go to replays. We come back to Young and Wolf celebrating. Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly suddenly appear and take both teams out to a huge pop. Fish and O'Reilly, who recently made their NXT TV debuts, destroy all 5 men and leave them laying. Back from the break, we see Neville, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Kalisto in the crowd. NXT champion Bobby Roode is backstage preparing for the main event. Hall of Famer Jim Ross is introduced as the guest commentator for this next match. Aleister Black versus Hideo Itami. We go to the ring. Out first comes Hideo Itami, Code Orange with a new singer. Performs as Aleister Black makes his special entrance next. The bell rings and Black goes to work with kicks. Back and forth start. They meet in the middle and have a shoving match. Black floors Itami with a kick. Black ends up taking a seat in the corner, in the middle of the ring. After Itami gets sent to the floor, Itami comes in, but Black keeps control. Black with more strikes and a knee that drops Itami for a 2 count. Itami then ends up making a comeback with a knee. Itami mounts Black with strikes and yells out about respect. Itami drops Black with an elbow, covers for another weak pin attempt. Itami keeps Black grounded. Itami keeps the offense going and mocks Black by taking a seat in the middle of the ring. Black comes back, but Itami hits a DDT for a 2 count. Black comes back with a big offense for a few moves, but Itami drops him with a big clothesline for a 2 count. Itami has been focusing on the neck and back of Black. Itami with a fisherman suplex for another close 2 count. Black finally floors Itami with a big kick. Itami seems to be knocked out. Black goes to the top, but Itami cuts him off and climbs up for a superplex. Black sends Itami to the mat with an elbow to the neck. Itami gets back up, and Black is knocked off into the turnbuckle. Itami climbs back up and hits a big Falcon Arrow from the top. Black has been busted open. Itami gets a 2 count. They end up trading shots in the middle of the ring. Black nails a big knee, but Itami responds with a Falcon Arrow for another close 2 count. Itami with hesitation drop kick in the corner. Black avoids the GTS. Itami pushes him around and talks trash about respect. Fans boo Itami. Black gets up out of nowhere and nails Black mask for the pin. Winner of the match, Aleister Black. After the bell, Black sits in the middle of the ring as his music plays. Morrow wonders how much longer it will be before Black earns an NXT title shot. We go to replays. Black makes his exit as good old JR says goodbye to the announcers. Back from a break, we see Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Becky Lynch at ringside. We see NXT Women's Champion Asuka backstage warming up. Ember Moon is shown walking through the back. Announcer sent us a video package for the next match. NXT Women's Champion Ember Moon versus Asuka. We go to the ring. Out first comes Ember Moon. Undefeated NXT Champion Asuka is out next to a pop. Rome does formal ring introductions before the match. Ember immediately drops Asuka and does a drop kick for an early pin attempt. Ember with more offense, forcing Asuka to the floor. Ember goes for the baseball slide, but Asuka moves. Asuka continues to try and regroup, but Ember stays on her. Asuka with kicks now. Ember fights back and goes to the second turnbuckle. Leaping to the floor with a cannonball, Asuka goes down hard. Ember keeps controlling Asuka until Asuka pulls her face first into the steel steps. Ember keeps fighting, but Asuka fights back. Asuka with a suplex on the steel ramp. Ember clutches her injured shoulder. Asuka brings it back into the ring as the referee counts. Asuka unloads with kicks and works on the arm some more. Asuka works Ember around the ring, but Ember fights back. Asuka sweeps her. Asuka keeps Ember grounded and brings her up into a submission, turning that into another submission on the arm. Ember powers up with a teardrop suplex. Ember unloads with kicks, then drops Asuka with an enziguri, but she can't get the pin. Ember comes back and nails a German suplex into the turnbuckles. Asuka tries for Asuka lock, but Ember struggles. Ember escapes with a back elbow. Ember goes for her own version of Asuka lock next. Asuka struggles and jumps on Ember's back with a hold applied. Ember falls back and slams Asuka to the mat. Asuka grabs her for a 2 count. Ember with a running lariat. Asuka hits a running hip attack. After more back and forth between the two, she ends up going for another hip attack, but Ember blocked most of it. Asuka runs into a knee. Ember with a tornado suplex from the second turnbuckle. Asuka still kicks out at 2. Ember with more offense. Asuka drops her into a kick. Asuka with several brutal kicks to the face now. Ember counters and drives Asuka to the mat for another 2 count. Ember ends up on top again, but Asuka cuts her off. More back and forth in the corner. Ember with a big stomp for a 2 count. Ember ends up catching Asuka in the eclipse out of nowhere for a close 2 count. Both are down now as the crowd goes wild. Ember goes up top, but Asuka the referee in front of her. Referee gets out of the way as Ember leaps for the crossbody. Asuka runs through and covers for a 2 count. Asuka and the referee argue. Ember takes advantage and nails a big kick for a close 2 count. Ember can't believe it. Fan chant NXT now. Asuka goes for an armbar, but Ember gets a quick pin attempt. Asuka drops Ember into the Asuka lock as the crowd pops. Asuka rolls over and tightens the hold, and Ember finally taps. After the match, both superstars are still down. As we go to replays, Asuka gets up, clutches the title. Referee raises her arm. Asuka raises the title and stumbles around as we go to replays. We come back and Asuka is gone. We see a disappointed Ember getting to her feet as the crowd cheers for her. Ember makes her exit. Back from the break, we see Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe in the crowd. We get a video package for tonight's main event. NXT title match, Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Roode. We go to ring and the NYPD pipe and drums band is out to assist with Drew McIntyre's entrance. McIntyre marches to the ring with bagpipers right behind him. NXT champion Bobby Roode is out next with another glorious entrance. We get formal ring introductions from Mike Rome. They meet in the middle of the ring and face off with Drew looking down at Roode. They back up before going at it and going into the corner. Drew backs off and Roode stares him down. They go at it and Drew drops Roode with a shoulder. Roode goes to the floor for a breather. They go at it in the ring now. Roode with chops in the corners. Roode keeps control and looks to go for a glorious DDT, but McIntyre avoids it. More back and forth as McIntyre takes control and tosses Roode into the corner for a bunch of big chops. Drew drops Roode with a big boot. Drew then scoops Roode from the mat and drives him right back into the mat. Drew then sends Roode to the floor and follows. Roode turns it around on the floor as the referee counts. Roode jumps off the apron, but Drew catches him in midair. They keep it up, but Drew catches Roode as he charges and sends him into the apron with a tilt-the-world backbreaker. They come back in, and Drew goes to suplex Roode to the floor. Roode nails him. Roode ends up hitting a neckbreaker while Drew is on the apron, sending him to the floor. Referee counts again. Roode keeps control on the floor and sends Drew into the barrier. Roode breaks the count, but drives an elbow to Drew's throat while he's on the apron. Roode comes back in to the ring and works Drew around. Roode with a running clothesline in the corner, and then a neck breaker for a 2 count. Roode keeps control and hits a missile drop kick for another pin attempt. Roode with more offense before keeping Drew grounded. Drew gets up, but Roode gets to his back for a sleeper hold. Drew rams Roode back in the corner and breaks it. Roode keeps control, but McIntyre hits an overhead throw. Drew then drops Roode chin first on the top turnbuckle. Drew looks to make his comeback now. Drew comes flying through the air and takes Roode down. Roode fights back and hits an inverted atomic drop. Roode delivers with a knee. Roode comes off the ropes, but Drew catches him in midair. Drew ends up dropping Roode with a Celtic cross for a 2 count. Roode gets a breather after dropping Drew over the ropes. Roode comes back and goes up top, but Drew cuts him off. Drew climbs up with Roode, but Roode knocks him back to the mat. Drew runs back up and stands on top of turnbuckle for the superplex, but Roode crotched him. Roode gets McIntyre in the tree of woe. Roode looks to do a move, but Drew pulls himself up out of the tree and launches Roode across the ring from the top. Drew gets riled up and he waits for Roode to stand up. Roode looks to be knocked out, but he just suckers Drew in and drives him down for a 2 count. Roode blocks the future shock DDT and does a backstabber for a 2 count. Roode unloads with strikes in the corner and hits a clothesline in the corner. Drew counters a neck breaker and backslide. Roode for a 2 count. Drew with a future shock DDT for a close 2 count. Drew takes Roode to the top with a fireman's carry, but Roode slides out and hits a Liger bomb for a 2 count. They trade shots again while getting to their feet in the middle of the ring. Drew with kicks and chops. They unload with slaps, countering each other. Roode sends Drew into the corner with an insecurity. Drew hits a Claymore kick for a close 2 count as Roode gets his foot on the bottom rope. Roode rolls to the floor for a breather as some fans boo. Referee starts counting as Drew gets to his feet. Drew runs the ropes and nails a huge dive over the top, taking Roode out on the floor. Holy crap, chance for the crowd starts up. Drew brings Rude back in the ring as the referee counts, almost making it to 10. Drew waits for Rude to get up as the fans rally with him. Drew turns around and catches Drew with a spine buster. Drew was caught with a spine buster as he was came in. Rude goes for the glorious DDT, but it's blocked. Drew drops down for a 2 count. Drew catches Rude with a tilt-the-world, but Rude turns that into a glorious DDT for another 2 count. Rude then waits a minute. He goes for another glorious DDT, nails it, and keeps Drew locked for a third DDT, but it's blocked. Drew nails another Claymore kick for the win and the title. Winner and new NXT champion Drew McIntyre, which is normally the sign that the stars are going to the main roster. After the match, Drew sits on his knees and looks at the title while clutching it. We go to replays. We come back to Drew holding the title. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish suddenly appear on the ring steps. Drew approaches them, but he's attacked from behind by former Ring of Honor champion Adam Cole. The triple team, Drew and Cole, floors him with a big super kick. Fan chant for Adam Cole. Cole raises the NXT title and taunts Drew by holding it in his face. Takeover goes off the air with Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly standing tall. And that concludes my results for NXT TakeOver 3. Thanks again. Peace out. See you where I'll be. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.